it's time to roll up my sleeves. Today I'm going to be showing you a creator who has grown their channel to over 1.5 million subscribers in just over 2 years. And not only that, they are making on average $18,960,000 a year from their YouTube channel. And they are doing exactly what we teach you to do on our channel here at Channel Makers. So without further ado, let's get into it. Today is a full case study on the Caleb Hammer Financial Audit YouTube channel. So let's talk through exactly what Caleb's doing here, and I'm gonna show you everything on his channel that is making him so successful. First, we're gonna start with audience growth. What is he doing to grow his audience so fast? How is he getting so many views, over 90 million views a month? And how is he getting the subscriber growth rate that he's getting as well, with over 100,000 subscribers grown in the last month on his channel? Number one, publishing schedule. Like I said, Caleb is doing most everything right. Something that he's doing very, very well is his publishing schedule. He's been consistently publishing for nearly the whole duration of 2 years. I looked back on his channel and tried to find all the times where he had missed a publishing date, and it was very, very rarely. So for 3 times a week over the past 2 years, he is publishing consistently without missing a date. And when he does miss a date, if and when he does miss a publishing date, what he does is he goes into his community tab and he lets his subscribers know. He lets people know what's happening. Hey guys, I'm gonna miss this publishing date. Here's the reason why. Here's what you can expect going forward when the episode will actually come out. This makes such a big difference for the audience. Having something to consistently look forward to is a really big thing. And not every channel has to have this same level of consistency. Like I said, he's doing 3 times a week. Take Mark Rober, for example. He publishes once a month. But again, there's something to look forward to, and there's an expectation set with the subscribers, with the followers. I think he does such a good job with that. Not only that, he is very aware of his community. I mentioned his community page or his community tab where he keeps his subscribers up to date on what's going on. He does such a good job of this, and not only that, not only is he just keeping them up to date on what's going on, his community posts are fun to read. They're very interesting, they're very engaging. I love to see what he's posting just because, like I said, they're interesting and engaging. So here, just a couple examples. They're doing a member stream. We're gonna talk about his membership later on. He's looking for partners on his channel here. He shows an exclusive audit, so he's doing some marketing for his channel. Excited to be back tomorrow, got a couple episodes. He just does such a good job. I mean, this is 9 days ago, 7 days ago, 5 days ago, 2 hours ago. He does a very, very good job at keeping up publishing on his community. He's very active in his comments as well. He's very in tune with what the audience likes, and he delivers on that all the time. The next thing that he does very, very well is the type of content that he publishes. Now, what I mean by this is specifically the length of the content that he's publishing. He knows that there are many different viewer types across his channel and across his viewership. And the reason for that is he publishes his episodes, like I said, 3 times a week. These are long episodes. We're gonna talk about the style of his show here pretty quickly, but they range from an hour to an hour and a half per episode. But what he also does is he takes what he calls clips, which is more like a 5 to 15 minute segment from his show, and then he publishes those clips as well. And then on top of that, he takes the, probably now 3 minutes or less, but before 60 seconds or less short form content, and he would publish segments of those short form content as well. So what he's doing is he's capturing audiences at all levels. He's getting the really long form audience, that medium form audience, and then the short form audience. And not only that, he's publishing across platforms. So for the short form content especially, he can publish on TikTok, he can publish on Instagram, he can publish on YouTube. He's gathering audience wherever he goes. Interesting fact about Caleb is I believe he actually started out on TikTok and saw some initial success there with short form content, but then moved over to YouTube and turned it into a longer form content show. So that goes to say, any of you who are in short form and want to move to long form, you can totally do that and find a lot of success. The last thing that I would say that he's doing incredibly well, and this may very well be the most important thing for his growth, is his type of content that he's publishing, the style, and then the consistency. And a different consistency than 3 times a week. What I mean is the type and style consistency. So his show, like I said, they are like an hour and a half long, hour to hour and a half long. And it's basically a financial show. So people are coming onto his show, he's interviewing them, they send him all of their financial records, and then he walks them through this process every single episode. So when a viewer comes and watches his episodes, they know exactly what to expect every single time. They know in the first 5 minutes that Caleb's going to get to know the audience member. They know that the audience member is going to kind of set their backstory a little bit. He's going to question them, and then finally they're going to dig into the finances. He's going to go through all of their bank statements and their credit card statements and their loans, and then all of this. And then after all of that, after he roasts them for a good 45 minutes to an hour, then they review a budget that Caleb makes for them. And then after that, they get sort of a final score. So it's just a very reliable format. It would be as if you were tuning into your favorite TV show on TV. You know, it's different characters, or, you know, a similar character, but then some different characters every time, but a similar plot line or a similar story. Or like if you're watching a game show, it's the same format every single time, but you know exactly what to expect, even though the characters are different. I think that this has really played into Caleb's favor as he's grown his YouTube channel, because people like that format. They like things that they are comfortable and familiar with, and they know that even if they miss one, they can jump right back in and they're gonna get the same value. Pairing that with publishing 3 times a week, he's a workhorse. Obviously, he's creating tons and tons of content, not to mention some other channels that I'm going to mention later of his, but this type of content is so valuable. And I would encourage you to find this on your channel. I'm not saying you have to do long form content specifically or very short form content, but find what people come back to you for. What are people enjoying on your channel that you can have some level of consistency with? We've talked about episodic content on this channel. Julia's made a couple great videos about that, and how YouTube is leaning toward that style of content where people can really binge your content, especially on larger like TVs and computers, that sort of thing. But YouTube wants to push that kind of content, and as creators, we know that the audience members really like that kind of content. I think Caleb really struck gold here when he joined the finance niche, but then really niched down and found his own voice, his own show. And that's the other thing, a part of Caleb's voice is that he's very loud, he's very, I don't even know what the word is, but very excitable. He likes to make a show, and so he just does a very good job. He's a character. He's done very well at building his character on camera, and I think he is very authentic with who he is. He's not ashamed of that. He doesn't apologize for that. So he does a very good job on that front as well. So for you on your channel, making sure that the character that you build for yourself is authentic, but then it's also somewhat of a caricature of yourself so that you can actually engage people the way that he does. I'll show you a couple clips here of Caleb in his natural state, we'll say.
I graduated from Liberty University in 2012. Just a big, and then the skills underneath it are like, I'm really good at client relations and employee training. But Liberty University, what? You need to have your hit the ground.
I mean, I kind of have a reason.
You go to Starbucks every day. Your reason. No reason. How much you owe?
Pretty sure it's like 1,000 to 1.
And all that?
Yeah, that's all.
Are you being serious?
Okay, you can see that he definitely has a lot of fun on his channel, and you can tell that in the episodes that he really does care about the people, and that he's not just yelling and having a good time just for the audience. He does really care about the show. He really cares about the people on the show, but he knows what makes for the best show for the audience, and he does that every time. Overall, being so audience focused, publishing consistently 3 times a week, you know, having the consistency of the style of the show, being a cross-platform, you know, reaching people in all forms of media, short form to long form. These are all things that are more high level on the channel, but I think that he's done really, really well. Obviously, his production quality looks really good, and honestly, it has looked really good from the beginning. He does such a good job at just making things look professional. Now, how can you do this for yourself? You might say, well, this is a lot of stuff to implement, and that's true. It really is, but just look at one. Look at your publishing schedule. Are you happy with where it's at? Do you feel like if you picked up the pace a little bit, it would help? Maybe you need to back off from how much you're publishing so you can up the quality a little bit. I will say, when Caleb started his YouTube channel, he ran this show out of his apartment building, I believe, in his little apartment. And so this is not something where he just had a production studio right up front. He didn't have all the great equipment. He really did start in a smaller form, and then he's grown over time. And so I want this to feel really approachable to you. Like I said, these are all principles that we teach on the channel here. It's just how can you apply it to yourself? And I'm not saying that you can necessarily immediately apply it to 100%, but you could probably start at like 25%, you know, with maybe going up 1 video a month in your publishing schedule, or maybe it is just, you know, doing a couple other types or forms of content to test them out. Little steps are going to get you there faster than not moving at all and not being willing to move and try new things all the time. Okay, that's the growth side. That's how I believe Caleb's gone from 0 to nearly 2 million subscribers in less than 2 years, is all those things. Now, I want to talk about the second half here, and that's the monetization on his channel. And this is really what stood out to me as I was diving through his channel, trying to figure out exactly what it is that's making him successful. And I really do think that from a financial standpoint, he is killing it, maybe even better than his growth. His growth is good, but there are a lot of YouTubers who grow fast. Now, the monetization is what really stood out to me. Let's break down his earnings. I went through and I just ballparked all of his earnings, all of his monetization types that he does. So I'm gonna put them up right here. These are all the monetization types that he does: ads, affiliate, info products, sponsorships, memberships, consultations. I believe that's all. I could be wrong, maybe I missed one, but I think this pretty much covers it. So let's break it down. Ads. I estimated with his 93 million views that he got last month on his channel, at like a $5 to $7 RPM, he's making anywhere from $465,000 to $651,000 just from ads alone. Now you might say, holy cow, Nathan, that's a lot of money. And you are right, that is a lot of money. But it pales in comparison to the other types of monetization that he's doing. So let's move forward. Okay, affiliate. As I went through this one, I wasn't quite sure. It's so hard to tell with affiliate, so I just put a question mark here. But even with that question mark, you're still gonna be very impressed. So let's go move on to info products. With his info products, he sells a couple courses that he's made. He's made a debt relief one, he's made a budgeting one, and maybe an investing one, I believe. So with those three, I figured if he sold 1,000 total, so a couple hundred of each every month out of his multi-million subscriber audience, he'd make about $150,000. I really think that's on the low end, but I want to be conservative in my estimates here. Next up, sponsorships. This one's huge because he has really long episodes. He runs 3 episodes a week. And on top of that, sometimes you'll get multiple sponsors per video since the episodes are so long. So it is really hard to say here, but again, I used his average of $6 to $7 RPM, and I added just a little bit on to that number because I think the sponsorships in the financial space could be really high. Financial products typically pay pretty well. So with the $7 RPM, adding a little bit on top, taking his RPM from the channel, and doing a little bit of a calculation there, I estimated that he's making probably $550,000 to $930,000. We could even that out right around 700 grand every single month, which is absolutely wild. Memberships, I figured on his channel, 84,000 to 150,000, and then consultations, they do probably a couple. I know his team isn't ginormous, so I figured they weren't doing that many, but I estimated a couple, probably making 30 grand or so. So drum roll, $1,580,000 a month. And those are very, very conservative estimates. So take a look at his ad revenue, right? The 465 to 500-ish thousand ads per month. He added an extra $1 million on top of that by doing these other monetization types, which is phenomenal. That comes out to $18,960,000 a year on this YouTube channel. I don't really know what to say to that other than I realize to you that probably feels out of reach. Even to me, that's a really big number. That's huge money. But he's doing the right things. He's doing the things that we tell you to do. And it took him 2 years to get there. I realize it's nearly impossible for you to sit in your chair or wherever you're at and to think that you could in 2 years be where Caleb Hammer is at. But the reality is, you could be. And I'm not just selling you a pipe dream here. We've helped hundreds, if not thousands of people make full-time income on their YouTube channels, on their websites. We did a calculation a couple weeks ago where, again, very conservatively, I believe we've helped people earn somewhere between $50 and $100 million just in the past couple years through our Project 24 system. I know that you guys can find this type of success like Caleb has. I don't think that he has the magic silver bullet. I don't think that he's doing anything so super special that nobody else can do. I just think that he's very articulate in his talking. He does a very good job with his videos. They're very well polished. He does a good job at reaching out. He always tries new things. That is the type of personality. Those are the character traits that I think get someone to be this successful. And then again, it's just publishing, improving a little bit every single time. I wanted to highlight this channel for you because it shows what's possible on YouTube. Caleb Hammer is not just a YouTuber anymore. he is a business owner. He has created something of value. His YouTube channel is a marketing engine for multiple streams of revenue. That is the vision that we want you to have for your channel, and he still loves it. He says in his episodes all the time that he loves what he does, and he would do it even if he wasn't making the money. And I know for so many of you out there, you want to grow, you want to impact people, and that's amazing. But you can also benefit from that impact the way that they are benefiting from your content. And so I hope this is inspiring to you. It is so inspiring to me to see people out there killing it on YouTube, being the best that they can be, and I know that you can do that too. That is what we are here to help you with on Channel Makers. We're even running some challenges here. You can check those out, the links in the description. Overall, I just know that you guys can do it. You guys are awesome. Let me know if there's anything that we can do to help you grow in the comments below. Thanks, Channel Makers, for hanging around, and we'll see you in the next one.